Hey, good afternoon, good morning to some, good afternoon to some. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Free Texas Campaign. We present voices from behind the walls of the Tdcj. Y'all know I've been on this for a minute now. We've been sharing individuals' story. We've been allowing them to share a little bit about how they landed in Tdcj and what they have observed and seen while they have been within the system of Tdcj. Y'all know I talk about the corruption that has plagued the state of Texas for 3 to 4 decades. Today, I have an individual that's going to be on sharing just a little bit about his story and sharing just a little bit about his concerns. So y'all know, if y'all would please share this in your circle of influence, share this in your circle of influence, and you never know what the next person may be in need of. So I'm gonna move out the way and allow my guest to introduce himself. If you would please introduce yourself, please.
All right. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. My name is Bartolo Dominguez Jr., but everybody here knows me as Bart. And how are y'all doing? I appreciate y'all tuning in. A little bit about myself. I've been incarcerated for around 16 years within these walls of TDCJ institution. Uh, I'm here for aggravated kidnapping and a lesser included offense of aggravated robbery. Now, through my time here in prison, I have witnessed all types of things, as you can imagine. Some of my concerns, as Angela was saying a little bit earlier, is basically dealing with rehabilitation programs here in prison, due to effects of staff shortage and things of that nature. What exactly do you want to get into right now, Angela?
Whatever you feel led to share on today, because this is about you and allowing the people to see what you're going through and what you're facing. So what you feel led to share on today?
Okay. Well, as we know, PDC is definitely dealing with staff shortages here within this confinement or this institution. And it trickles down to us. Ultimately, it hurts us. Individuals here, such as myself, we try to better our environment, better our culture, and better ourselves as men. When I first came into prison, I was 21 years of age. I was a young gang member. I was hard-headed. I didn't want to listen. And I continued that while in prison for years. And ultimately, I either matured mentally or I just grew up. A lot of people call it woke here in prison, right? You woke up. And I just decided to do good. I started deciding to serve others. And I felt valued outside of my gang for the first time. And I was just tired of losing. I picked up more time here in prison, dealing with cell phones. I've been to administrative segregation. I've been to G4, G5. I've done the whole turnabout here with the prison system. And now it's just about helping others, serving others, as being a servant leader, right? But it's hard, and it really is. With the shortage of staff, once you have that shortage of staff, other staff, the ones that do come to work, they feel the pressure. Once they start feeling the pressure, then they take it out on us. They get lazy. They don't want to do the extra work. They start cutting programs. And here we are again in this whole cycle of just going back to just being, it's just a bad cycle, man, where officers just don't want to do their jobs. They're cutting our programs. It's just a bad place for everybody, right? It really is. It really is.
So the whole gist, I thought, of prison was to rehabilitate those that may have offended the law, broke the law, or some type of offense, is to rehabilitate them so that they can get back out in society and be productive citizens and give back to society. And with cutting of everything, I mean, I hear it across the board that everything is being cut, that there's really no programs in place. So how are you rehabilitating yourself? How are you working towards one day coming home? Is that even an option for you?
No, absolutely. It's absolutely an option, depending on how you see it grow, and that's really another rabbit hole, a huge rabbit hole I really don't want to go down. But I have an opportunity in 8 years. I come up to see parole for the first time, and the way we choose, right? It's all about choice, and it's just really up to you to choose to enroll into a program, and whatever you put in, you're going to get out, right? But it's just the consistency of the programs. That's what's lacking, right? There's no consistency because shortage of staff. They want to rack up, and morale within a program is major. It's a major motivating factor, right? You want to boost that morale of everybody in the club. You want to make them feel valued. You want to make these individuals here in prison. You want to make them feel human again, right? TDC or any institution for that matter, I believe they dehumanize you. And so when you get individuals in these programs and you start making them feel more human, and they love coming to these programs, and here they go, they start rehabilitating themselves by learning new skills. Well, every time there's shortage of staff, they'll cut out, and then morale goes down. But once morale goes down, their interest wanes, and then there you go. It's going back to the cycle of what they know, right? The prison culture that they're used to. They'll start going back to the gangs. They'll start going back to the dope. They'll go back to doing all these other things that is really hurting them instead of helping them.
So what are some things that you think needs to be put in place, and how do you feel like the judicial system has failed you guys that are incarcerated?
Okay, well, they failed by supporting, by lack of support. They don't support these programs, even though when I was sentenced to my crime, they told the jury, sentences God for 3 reasons, which is deter him from committing more crimes, punishment for the crimes that he did commit, or rehabilitation, right? Send him to prison to rehabilitate himself. And that's really just a flat out lie, to be honest, because the only people here that are actually caring are other inmates. That's part of the rehabilitation process. Other inmates are rehabilitating other inmates. Yes, we do have some colleges. Yes, we do have some form of other classes that they do have officers or free will volunteers that come in, but it's not as great, right? They're not attentive. Some of the classes here on the McConnell unit, they'll tell you when they go to some of these like culinary arts or whatever that you basically go in there and you learn from a book. The instructors will not tell you anything, and it might be due to the fact of money, right? Money. So I think it's just support. We need the support from administration. We need the support from actual TDCJ. That is what we need to help us in this endeavor, because without that, I mean, we're screwed. We have no rehabilitation programs. More support, Angela. That's exactly what we need. Support, support, support. Some outside entities, such as Bridges to Life or things of that nature, they get more support because they have outside support. They got people that come in, volunteers that come in. They got monetary donations that come in for food and supplies. And so as long as TDC is not providing these things, then they'll allow it to happen. But once you start putting in requests for paper, once you start putting in requests for other things, they'll start balking. And next thing you know, they're like, well, we need to cut this program out. Or well, how can we do this at the bare minimum? It's not about that. It's definitely not about rehabilitation here in these laws.
Well, we definitely have seen that it's definitely not about rehabilitation. It is more about money. In my investigation and my research of Texas and what has been going on in Texas for 3 to 4 decades now, it has just been a nightmare. Overly and wrongfully incarcerated people, and it's being done out of greed and out of the fight for power. These individuals that have authority. We talk about the governor, we talk about the lieutenant governor, we talk about the what is it, the attorney general, and some of these representatives and congress people. They have the power to make decisions and to just basically make sure that the laws that are in place are being upheld. Like, I mean, there's laws in place to make sure that these people are doing what they're supposed to do. They're getting money. They're getting money to house you. They're getting money to do this. They're getting money to do that. And then it makes no sense. They tell us that they spending thousands, millions of dollars of tax money on the prisons, but the reports that I get from the prisons, I don't see how they spending a dime with the way that a lot of these prisoners, these inmates say that they're living. You living in mold infested environments. Water is terrible. The food is terrible. You talk about giving food that you don't even know what it is, but you don't have a choice but to eat it because that's all that they have. Especially the ones that don't have family on the outside that's giving ecom and sending them money to put on their books so that they can buy stuff from the store, from commissary and whatnot. I mean, it's just becoming a serious problem. And it's like the ones that are on the outside that have the power, it's just like they overlooking everything. It's like it's because it's not affecting them, and they making they $250,000 every year from their salaries, and they go home and they sleep well, and they're getting to celebrate anniversaries and birthdays and holidays and all these other different things. But what about the inmates?
Absolutely.
Well, what about the
Absolutely.
inmates?
And that's the thing, Angela. Families sometimes they forget about loved ones in here. They believe that, or believe what they hear, which is that we have 3 meals and a cot. We get fed 3 times a day. We have a place to put over our heads, a roof over our heads, a head, a mattress to lay down on. Yes, yes, we do have these basic survival necessities. Yes, we do. But is it enough? Right? Is it enough? Now they're implementing these tablets. They got phones in the system. So when I first got here, there was no phones, and so all these things are taking money. Right? These phone calls, these tablets, these movies, everything takes money. But where does the money come from? Because we don't get paid for work. Well, the money comes from our families, right? Our families that are out there struggling already. Right? So it's very hard. And so sometimes the family doesn't have the money, so in order to not be asked, they just kind of take a step back and they forget about the family member, if that makes any sense. Because I've seen that throughout the years here, the decades that I've been here within these prison walls. Family will actually take a step back because they don't have the means to support the family member. And next thing you know, they have nobody on the outside. And so it's basically awareness that the outside needs to know, the family members, and the will. And just like with these programs here in prison, it's the will and the want to change. You said it exactly the way you needed to say it. These family members are out there. They have the opportunity to vote. They have the opportunity to get their voice heard by calling congressmen, by calling senators, people of high stations. But it's the will. It's the will and the knowledge, if you will, right? So it's the will and the knowledge. They need to know who to contact, how to contact them, and they got to do it. They got to want to do it.
Well, I tell you what I've been doing, and I'm gonna keep saying it. If they need a voice, they need to reach out and get connected to the Free Texas campaign because we are speaking loud. And I will be in Texas in January, and I will be marching down to the city hall, and I will be out there because somebody needs to know what is going on. Because I've been researching and I've been looking about these suicides that have happened in McConnell, and there's nothing out on the outside that's saying that these things are happening over there, you know. And it's sad that these people are taking their lives, and the news is not investigating. You don't have no elected official stepping in and saying there's a problem. When you having suicide after suicide after suicide, or homicide after homicide after homicide, there's a issue. There's a problem. And it's a pattern. Everything that I have noticed over this last year of working with these individuals in TDCJ, everything is a pattern. Down to how the cases was handled, it from the get-go. Most of these cases and most of these people that I'm working with, there was something corrupt going on with their cases that ended that landed them there in prison. A lot of these people in other states, they would have had probation, or they would have had whatever time they served in the county would have been their time served, and they would have been going on about their business. But to me, I feel like those people that are in charge of this TDCJ, this judicial system, from the governor all the way down, every last one of them, they are all about money and power. Tell you, you trace the money. You see where you see who's benefiting from all the work that is being done within TDCJ, and nobody's getting paid for it. Somebody's getting paid for it. Inmates are not getting paid for, but somebody's getting paid for, because you're talking about companies that are using TDCJ to produce product. We talk about Walmart, we talk about Starbucks, we talk about various companies. We can go on and on about companies that are making money off of these prison systems. And it's not just in Texas. And then you wonder why they populate it like that. It's overcrowded. It's overcrowded right now that the governor should be doing an executive order to release some of these people that are eligible to be released, because you short staffed and then you overcrowded.
Absolutely.
And then for the likes of me, these elderly people, these people that's in their 60s and 70s, how and why would you continue to keep them and then keep offsetting them when they come up for parole? These people, you've already taken over half of their lives, because you talk about people that's been incarcerated for 25, 30 years. We ain't talking about 5, 10 years. We talking about 25, 30 years that they have taken from these people. In most of these cases, they were wrongfully convicted, first of all, and then you over incarcerate. Why? Because you making trillions of dollars. Not millions no more, not billions no more, but you're making trillions of dollars. And it's sad. And I am urging the Department of Justice to come through and just do a clean sweep, and to just go through and investigate. All they got to do is do an investigation. They do an investigation, they're gonna uncover a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot of stuff. And they don't want to.
In-house investigation.
They don't want to. And then, I mean, the investigations that they have been doing, how can you investigate yourself when you are the problem? You can't investigate yourself. You can't assign a special committee and then you assign the committee when you are a part of the problem. You need outside eyes, you need outside ears, someone that is not invested in nothing that is going on within the state. And that's what they need. And they need it urgently, immediately.
Absolutely. Angela, you said something a while back that I kind of want to touch on about the suicides here in prison, especially here on the McConnell unit. Over the last couple of weeks, I believe we've had 3 suicides here. And there's a program in place that empowers individuals to walk around. I'm pretty sure you've heard of the peer education program, which is basically peers, other inmates, walking around and talking and assisting other individuals, other inmates, right? But they take it just a step further with the self-harm group. This is a pilot program that's here on the McConnell unit, and these guys go around and they get a list of names of individuals that have attempted suicide, have contemplated suicide, and have told somebody about it, or are on some kind of list that they have. A list that was given to the administration, right? So these guys go and talk to these people, and they do that. But again, here's where it falls short. The support of the administration. The captain that's over it doesn't care. He feels like there's they're doing absolutely nothing to stem the actual suicide. They're not doing anything. So there's no support there. Then there's no support from officers that won't allow these guys to even get off the building to go talk to these people when they have an official pass that allows them to do it. And they do that because of shortage of staff. They say, well, we don't have the officers to go and open this door for you right now, so just wait. And so here it is. It all boils down to the shortage of staff and the lack of support within the prison system, especially here on the McConnell unit. And that's what I'm speaking of because I'm here, the lack of support. Right?
Again, I applaud. I ask the governor to act upon this. I mean, how else can you rectify if you can't hire and keep it staffed? Then why not let those that are eligible to go home early? I mean, if you got to put them in some type of program, you got to put them on monitor until whenever. Do that. But allow these people to go back out and be productive citizens, able to be in society, able to, help their families and enjoy what life they have left. Because you look at a lot of these people, they have incarcerated these kids since some of them 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. A lot of these people been in prison from that to now. Some of them say they 40 and 50 years old. That them a lot of years.
Absolutely.
That cannot be taken back. So why not allow them to enjoy what life they have left? So today I want you to, before we close, share with the people what exactly, if the governor's listening, if somebody with some type of authority, some type of power, some type of will, some type of want to help, how can they do that?
There are programs here within the prison system that help individuals change. I'm living proof. I've come from cartels, gangs, infested my whole life. I've done everything and been there. I'm one of the few who can honestly tell you that I deserve to be here in prison. I deserve it. But there's a point where I've changed, and there's plenty of individuals here that have changed. If there is any way possible that you could just see, well, I know it's impossible on an individual basis, and the reason being is because there are so many prisoners and not enough staff to overlook us or see us or watch us. But change the system, change the parole system, fix the broken system, and just like Angela said, allow these individuals that have shown progress, not regress, that have shown change. Allow individuals a second chance at life. Allow us, these guys, to go out and be productive members of society. Allow that. If it doesn't warrant them to continue to stay behind bars, then release these guys. As Angela said, I've seen individuals here 60, 70 years of age, failing health. Their health is going down. They're deteriorating every day. Every day you see them just, their morale, everything is, why are they still here? They can barely walk. So more programs need to be put in place to help individuals change, and maybe programs out in the world to help these individuals that have been incarcerated for 30s and 40s of years, to help them get back into society. They're going to need them. They're a burden of the state now while they're here because they have nobody. And they'll be a burden of the system when they get out, when you release them. And maybe that's one of the reasons they won't release them, Angela. And that's another factor that needs to be into. They don't want to release these guys that have nothing. Nowadays, they're asking, even if you're discharged from your sentence, you have to have a place where you're going. You have to put it down. If not, they won't be released. I don't know how true that is, but somebody said that the day when they were being discharged, they had to give an address. Why is that? The system needs to be changed. I appreciate your time, Angela. Thank you very much for listening to me, guys, out there. If you can, man, evangelist, just put it out there to your friends and family. Let them know, support these guys here in prison that are wanting to change, willing to change, and support us in any way possible. Help us get home.
Well, I thank you. I'm definitely gonna have you back, so we can at least talk about how we can help get you home.
Absolutely.
But I thank you for coming on and sharing and touching on some of these topics that people need to hear that's going on within the TDCJ and what needs to be addressed. So we have different individuals. I know they're out there watching. I know they're out there listening. So I just need them to move upon, just to act, just to do something, not just watch, but to do something. You know. But I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on and sharing. And again, you're welcome back anytime.
Appreciate it, Andrew. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in on today to the Free Texas campaign, Voices from Beyond the Walls of TDCJ. I have 3 more individuals that's going to be stopping by on today. So make sure you're sharing this in your circle of influence. Even if you're catching it as a replay, share it with somebody, because you never know what somebody may need. I have 3 more individuals, like I said, that's going to be coming through. So y'all stick around.